All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to say hello and welcome to today's virtual workshop on behalf of the California Department of Veterans Affairs and the California Transition Assistance Program. And in partnership with College of the Canyons, we would like to welcome you to today's topic, which is Women and Minority Veterans Resources. My name is Derek Rose. I serve as a CalTAP training coordinator at Calvet. We have a lot of great information to share with you today, a lot of great benefits and resource information. And then we're also honored to be joined by our guest speakers today, representing our Women and Minority Veterans divisions here at Calvet. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the portion of the presentation. Just for a general housekeeping, this is of course, a virtual webinar. So we do ask that if you are not a presenter or a panelist or a host of the meeting, to please keep your microphones muted and your cameras turned off. This just helps eliminate some of the distractions and save on the bandwidth for the rest of our presenters in the presentation. As far as today's agenda goes, you're going to hear a lot of great information. We're going to kind of start with just an overview of the CalTAP program at Calvet and some of the benefits and services that are offered in the state of California to veterans and their family members. And then we are going to be joined again by our guest speakers and our keynotes for the day who represent our minority and underrepresented Veterans Affairs Division. If you do have questions throughout today's presentation, we do ask that you please use that chat feature. And we do request that you send those directly to the tab that's either CalTAP questions, which it could be labeled. My colleague Kirk is kind of monitoring those questions. Just for the sake of doing the Q&A, sometimes, your question may be answered as we're going along in the presentation. So if you wanted to kind of maybe hold off on those until our designated Q&A time at the end of the presentation, that might be better to help facilitate those. But we'll allow some time at the end to review all of your questions moving forward. So I'd like to just do an overview of the CalTAP program at Calvet and share some of the work that we do and kind of how to find us and connect with us and go over some of the benefits and services. So again, my name is Derek. I am a prior Navy veteran, also a prior student veteran prior to working for the state of California. So I'm just personally honored to be here today and kind of share some of these services and benefits as a veteran also here in the state of California. So exactly what is the CalTAP program? Well, I like to kind of say this verbatim as it says right here on the screen. It's designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned state and federal benefits, because we do know that not every veteran's needs are all the same, right? They may be different based on your age or your time or your period of service. So the way that we've developed our curriculum online is through our Pathways program, which you can see which each one of those pathways are. We have everything from our core curriculum, which I like to kind of describe as VA Benefits 101. It's everything from how do I enroll into the VA healthcare system? How do I file a claim for a service-connected disability? Exactly what are my benefits? And we'll be kind of unpacking some of that today in the next few slides. Additionally, we have our supplemental pathway programs such as education, employment, entrepreneurship, and our veteran service provider pathway. So if your transition or your next step is taking you into each one of these key areas, we've designed our learning modules to have for you to be able to navigate on your own and kind of navigate through our CalTAP curriculum. I would also like to give a plug to our California Veterans Resource Book. This book has a lot of great information, basically an A to Z listing of all of your veterans benefits, whether that might be federal, state, some local benefits and resources in there for you as well. If you do not have a hard copy, you can always download a PDF version through our website. And I believe Kirk is going to be sending out the link here in the chat as well, so that you can download that right to your smartphone or your desktop as well and just keep that handy. It really is a great resource to have. Encourage you to use it to follow along. So connecting with us, how can you find the CalTAP program online? You can always go to our main website at calvet.ca.gov, and you can click on our CalTAP icon right down there, kind of on the middle right-hand side. And if you clicked on that, that will bring you to all of the CalTAP's main page, which has all of those CalTAP learning pathways in there as well. I also just want to highlight briefly, since we have done a lot of virtual training over the past few years due to the pandemic, we have recorded all of these webinars. This webinar is recorded today, and it does get placed on our website and our YouTube channel. So you can always kind of circle back and find our whole series of archived webinars for any topic that we may have covered, whether it's mental health, employment, education, housing, or what have you. All of those are there for you to view at your leisure. But for today, we kind of want to unpack and just kind of give an overview of that core curriculum pathway. Like I mentioned, all of the modules that lie within that pathway, from healthcare, disability claims, financial literacy courses as well. But what we want to focus on is that module 5, which are California benefits. So if we clicked on our module 5, what are they, right? What exactly are my California benefits? Well, again, all of this is in the resource book as well. Just want to share that with you before we move forward. But I'm going to use this slide right here just to kind of do an overview, just kind of expand on some of these bullet points just a little bit. So hopefully this is some new information to you, or kind of, provide you some clarity on some of the programs we have. First and foremost, we do offer that college tuition fee waiver for veterans' dependents. If that veteran has a service-connected disability with the VA, their child can attend any state school, whether it's a community college, CSU, or UC, as long as that student or that dependent child has a California residency. The veteran themselves does not necessarily need to be a California resident. It's only the child. So that's a great benefit. It saves veterans, families, thousands of dollars in tuition every year. So it really is a great benefit. Some DMV programs that we partner with DMV on. We offer that veteran designation on your California ID card or driver's license. This just allows you to have the word veteran printed on there, so you don't have to carry around your DD 214 wherever you go to get those great local discounts and benefits and services. And it's just a way to show your veteran status in the community. That motor vehicle registration fee waiver is for 100% mobility impaired service-connected veterans who have a mobility impairment approved by a physician. You can then apply for disabled veteran license plates, which then would waive your motor vehicle registration fee waiver. California is a great place for recreational activities, so we offer reduced fees on hunting and fishing licenses, as well as a distinguished veteran state parks pass that allows you free entry into all of the California state parks. If you are a 100% rated veteran with the VA, you can qualify for a disabled veteran property tax exemption through your county assessor's office. This is a great benefit to save you some money on your property taxes. So if you do have that 100% rating, I encourage you to apply at your local county assessor's office to where you pay your property taxes, and they will process that exemption for you. Business license tax and fee exemption: if you want to sell any goods or products or services and you need to obtain a business license, you can always reach out to your local office who issued that license, whether it's a city or a county, and see if they will honor that exemption for you. Calvet home loans. This is another great program for home ownership here in the state of California. We actually do all of our loan processing and loan servicing in-house, where Calvet actually serves as the lender using your VA home loan eligibility. So if you're interested in home ownership, we do encourage you to reach out to our Calvet Home Loans division to see if the Calvet home loan may be a good option for you. And of course, we also have our Calvet Women's Division and our Calvet Minority and Underrepresented Divisions here at Calvet. I'm just going to reserve the information today. We're actually joined by both divisions, so we're honored to have them today. And they are going to give a presentation about some of the benefits and services that they offer today. So we'll stand by for their presentation. Calvet Homes for Long-Term Care. Calvet operates 8 veterans homes in the state of California, ranging from a wide level of care, all the way from independent living, all the way through skilled nursing facilities. So if that time of need does come for yourself or your family member, please know they have eligibility to be placed in a Calvet veterans home. And Calvet operates 3 state cemeteries. You may be familiar with the National VA Cemetery Administration, but Calvet operates 3 on a statewide level. So that was just kind of a quick and general overview of some of the benefits and services that are offered So if you do have questions, we're going to share all of our contact information at the end. Please reach out to us if you have any additional questions. This slide is just to share some maybe common veteran websites that you may be navigating as well. So VA.gov, of course, is where you can get started with all of your healthcare needs. Disability compensation, you can apply for benefits through there as well. Education, if you need to print out your your letters or your certificate for your GI Bill, you can do that on there as well. Your home loans certificate, and also manage all of your records. Apply for any type of veterans ID card. Have a copy of your download a copy of your service records or your medical records if needed. So that's just another good starting point. So My VA is kind of the new portal that's going to replace eBenefits. You may be familiar with eBenefits, is where you can go and log on and manage all of your disability compensation and apply for benefits through eBenefits. The VA has kind of shifted this into kind of a one-stop shop for all of your VA needs. So anything from healthcare, disability claims, it's all going to be done through My VA. My Health eVet. This is where you can go if you are still receiving your healthcare through VA. You can go, manage your prescription needs, schedule your appointments, and connect with your primary care team as well through My Health eVet. And ways to stay connected with us through the CalTAP program. You can always reach out to us directly at our email address listed on the screen. That way we can plug you into some of our updates and newsletters that we publish so that you can stay connected on all of our benefits and services. You can also follow us along on social media to where you can register for our virtual trainings or in person. We also have started picking up our in-person trainings and workshops as well. So if there's a workshop that's close to you, perhaps you can register for that event, and we'd love to have you attend in person. We're also going to be posting a survey with that big QR code there listed as well. That survey, we do take that seriously to make sure that we're providing all of the relevant information for you on these trainings. So please, if you have a moment, do take that. We're going to be sharing it in the chat as well. All right, My Calvet. Additionally, My Calvet is a way that you can register for a personal profile on our website. This allows you just to create a profile for yourself. That way you can stay up to date on any news or related benefit information. You can get notified on that directly through our website through My Calvet. This is our VSD monthly newsletter right here, split into kind of 3 pages or 3 columns. So every month we kind of host a theme for the month, whether it's mental health for the month of May, additionally employment or education. This is just kind of a newsletter for you to stay connected. It shows where all of our trainings are held, whether it's virtual or in person, with some additional resources there and ways for you to connect. So we do encourage you to connect with us and kind of register through a My Calvet or reach out to us directly so that we can keep you up to date for all of the events that CalTAP is hosting. All right, a lot of information for you right there in a short period of time, I know, but if you want to stay connected, please reach. That is my personal email, my work email, so please reach out to me directly if you have any questions, if you need any clarification on anything we covered today. I'm always here and we'll take all the time that's needed to walk you through anything. All right, so we're just going to keep pushing forward as well. So I'd like to kind of shift gears and kind of highlight another portion of the CalVet Veteran Services Division, which is our links, our local interagency network coordinators. I am filling in today for Anthony Rodriguez, who serves as our Los Angeles link. So what are our links? Well, as you can see, it is a play on words, right? For those network coordinators where they may be locally. So their jobs are to provide that outreach to service members, veterans, and families, and to also work on a referral network with service providers in the area. It is that link's job to kind of have an understanding of the needs of their region, of their community, and make those connections with service providers or county VA offices, and really kind of serve as that kind of boots on the ground CalVet representation in your area. So they also assist with local emergencies. During the last few months, California's been affected with a lot of flooding. So those disaster relief centers have been opened throughout the state of California, and our links are there on site to make sure that any veterans with emergency needs are taken care of, whether it's service records, connecting with the VA for prescription refills, getting them plugged into DMV services as well, and just really, kind of providing that support as needed. And just leadership and advocacy to our local communities, again, working with vetted veteran service providers and really kind of serving as that boots on the ground service. So this is how our link regions are split up and defined. Again, we have 8 regions throughout the state. You can see some regions are much larger than others, but this is based on the veteran population, right? So, San Diego is, of course, a smaller area geographically than our Northern California region, but those services are spread out, and there's a lot of veteran population in the Northern California region. So you understandably, each region probably has its own needs based on where you are, right? So those links are there to work with the veterans in their regions, and really kind of have an understanding and kind of have a pulse of the veteran community where they may be. So you can find your link to wherever it is you may be located and connect with them directly. All of their emails are there. Again, I'm filling in for Anthony, who does great work in our Los Angeles and Ventura County regions. He's really plugged into everything you can imagine down there, all things VA related. So please just take a note of this map, and connect with them if you need any additional support from CalVet where you may be. Additionally, our links have those connections with, of course, other state agencies and the VA as well. So they do work direct partnership with EDD to provide employment services to veterans, and also work with the America's Job Center for veterans seeking employment. They also work directly with our county veteran service offices. And I really just wanted to kind of take a step back and highlight the importance of those veteran services offices at the county level. They are kind of, the first stop you should go in applying for any of these state benefits or federal benefits for that matter that we're mentioning. They are accredited through CalVet to provide benefit services and processing and counseling for whatever you may need. So whether it's disability compensation or getting certified for any of these state benefits that I mentioned earlier, that is where you should go as a veteran or a family member to apply for anything that we're speaking on today. And of course, they're connected to any VA medical centers or clinics in their area and have those partnerships with, additional programs such as mental health services and our vet centers that are located there as well. That is Anthony's direct contact information. He's very responsive. So please reach out to him directly if you have any questions about some of the work that he does down in LA or connecting to anybody down there as well. All right. That is it for me. So I would like to take this time to introduce Faisal, who serves as a staff services analyst for our minority and underrepresented veterans division. And he's going to share some of the work that he does there here at CalVet. So with that, Faisal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. If we may, can we please go to the next page for overview? As everyone takes a look at the overview, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Faisal Aziz, one of the analysts with the Minorities and Underrepresented Veterans Division. I've been with CalVet for about a year now. I myself am a Marine Corps veteran. I served as an infantryman for a few years, separated in 2017, and went to school and then ended up here at CalVet. So yeah, we're a small team. We have 3 analysts, one OT, and our deputy secretary, Sochi Rodriguez Murillo. And historically, we've been kind of understaffed, but we've been fully staffed for the past year. So we've done some awesome work. And I'll just quickly go over the overview. We'll go through vision and mission, some quick facts, and some statistics, some of the assistance programs, kind of how our division helps with CalVet's mission in assisting our veterans, our Pathway to Citizenship program, our tribal veteran outreach, our CalVet LGBTQ inclusion program, some future initiatives that we have, and our MUVD roster, and Moving forward, MUVD will stand for Minorities and Underrepresented Veterans Division, and some contact information. So, next slide, please. And the vision and mission. The Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division will ensure that all veterans have equal access to their benefits regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation. And the mission, promote our usage of state and federal veteran benefits, programs, and services. To advocate on behalf of minority and underrepresented veterans by identifying gaps in services or barriers to access, and lead initiatives that educate the public. You can kind of think of us as kind of a diversity, equity, and inclusion team. Exactly, we do more outreach and advocacy, but kind of as several different industries are entering and adopting these practices of diversity, equity, inclusion, we're very embedded into that as well. Next slide, please. And just some quick facts. Almost half the veterans in California are amongst the minority veteran population. So there's a significant population, minority population in California. Amongst that minority veteran population, there's nearly 20,000 Native American veterans, 3 times the number of Native American veterans compared to other states. Our state also has the highest populations of LGBTQ veterans. Think of places like San Francisco, LA, San Diego. We definitely are a welcoming state, very inclusive, and our LGBTQ veteran population definitely reflects that. And the state of California is also the first state to develop a citizenship program for its veterans and their family members, which we will get to in a few slides as we progress through this. Next slide, please. Just some more statistics. And again, this is more of a breakdown. About, again, nearly half of the veterans in California are minority veterans. Next slide, please. And the assistance from our division, a lot of what we do is simply connecting veterans with veterans and seeing how we can support them, kind of targeting outreach and advocacy. We partner with several different minority veteran organizations, such as the Native American Veteran Association, the Japanese American Veteran Association, and through networking with these different minority veteran organizations, we kind of see what events are being held and how we network and meet leaders in that realm, and to promote the use of VA and CalVet benefits and programs and services. We support and initiate activities and events, again, those events that are being held and hosted by minority veteran organizations, and target outreach efforts to minority veterans through, again, those community networks, and advocate on their behalf. Next slide, please. And our Pathway to Citizenship program. So this program launched in 2018 in partnership with the Governor's Office, the California Department of Social Services, and Community Immigration Services. It's a free service to veterans and their dependents, and there is a component of an expedited naturalization process. Naturalization can get a bit technical. I'm myself, I'm not an expert on all the processes, but the fees are waived, and there's several $100s of application fee that is associated with applying for naturalization. And there are several benefits that apply to veterans. Excuse me, quick. I apologize. Sorry about that. And again, it's a free service to veterans and their dependents. And since 2018, we've actually had a couple of additional workshops since. So we're closer to 17, 18 workshops since 2018. We assisted over 650 veterans, and we have another one planned in July and also in August as well. Stay tuned for those announcements, and we should get that out to everybody pretty soon. Next slide, please. Native American Veterans Advocacy. So in the state of California, we have about 109 federally recognized tribes, and there are also non-federally recognized tribes in California as well. We provide natural disaster assistance with CalOES and coordinated to provide over 10,000 masks to California Native American tribes during the COVID pandemic. Attended Tribal Nations Conference in 2019, hosted by the Governor's Office and the Tribal Chairpersons Association. We do our best to conduct outreach in the northern rural California tribe regions, outreach to the VA benefits and programs to Native American veterans, collaboration with VA Advisory Committee on Tribal and Indian Affairs, and we attend the annual Native American Days held on the West Steps at the California State Capitol. I actually had the opportunity last year, I believe it was November, with my coworker Ricky to attend a Native American powwow, a veterans powwow, down in Southgate in Southern California, and it was an incredible opportunity to kind of immerse ourselves in the culture and learn as much as we can. Yeah. Next slide, please. And our LGBTQ veteran inclusion program. Definitely believe in building support for LGBTQ veterans and the LGBTQ community, their families, promoting resilience in the face of challenges. As we know, our LGBTQ veterans, during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, definitely, several service members were separated, and many are now seeking to upgrade their DD-214s to reflect honorable service. And this program launched in 2014, and we've held several events, leadership forums, and a few papers were published from the California State Library in partnership with the California State Library and a few researchers to advance our knowledge in LGBTQ veteran realm. 2 LGBTQ CalVet conferences, several meetings, 2 discharge upgrade events, and 2 Don't Ask, Don't Tell celebrations, which we have Pride Month coming up, and also the Don't Ask, Don't Tell anniversary in September. So that is another item that will be coming up here pretty soon. Next slide, please. And our division outreach. These are some of the outreach that some of the populations that we target: Asian American, Pacific Islander veterans, AAPI, both Black Veterans History Appreciation webinar that we had. We actually attended a Black Veterans History in conjunction with the Tuskegee Airmen chapter here, and that was an awesome event a few months ago. LGBTQ webinars, and then again the Native American Veteran Celebration, Operation Stress Management exercises led by the American Red Cross, a diversity roundtable with veteran service organizations, Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation webinar, a suicide prevention informational webinar, and that happened during COVID, during 2020 to 2021. Veteran Pathway to Citizenship workshops, Do Ask, Do Tell, a veteran celebration, virtual, and that was to recognize the LGBTQ veterans. Next slide, please. And again, more with division outreach. We've done things like Missing and Emerging Indigenous Peoples webinar to raise awareness for veteran service providers and the Native American community. Black History Month ceremonies again. More Pathway to Citizenship workshops upcoming July and August 2023. Let's see, LULAC veterans, the League of United Latin American Citizens Annual State Convention in Sacramento. They always have awesome events. They partner with CalVet, the American GI Forum. That's always a good event. The State Fair, we're always at the State Fair. I believe the State Fair will be kicking off here pretty soon, and we'll be at the State Fair. And the Rural Northern California Veterans Collaborative meeting, we had one recently in April last month in Red Bluff, California. And we also attend the CalVet Leadership Summit last year. I believe it was September. We were also in San Diego. Next slide, please. And our minority and underrepresented veterans roster, there is a QR code. You go on there, go ahead and sign up for our roster. We send out a ton of information on benefits, services, resources throughout California, different events. And we have a monthly newsletter that we also send out. And we have about 12,500 minority and underrepresented veterans that have joined. And this will probably be the best way to keep in, stay in touch and stay updated on our veteran, on our division. Next slide, please. And here's some contact information. Again, our office technician, Christina, myself, Ricky, he's one of our program analysts. He's also a U.S. Army veteran. And then Jose Ayon, he is a U.S. Army officer. And our Facebook link is there. That's our general phone line and our minority veterans email, which we all monitor. So feel free to reach out to any one of us by any of these means. And I think that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Derek.
Great, thanks. Thank you, Fasel. All right, at this time, I would like to introduce our Deputy Secretary for our Women's Veterans Affairs Division, Virginia Wimmer. Virginia was appointed on August 24th, 2021 by Governor Gavin Newsom as our Deputy Secretary for Women's Veterans Affairs at CalVet. Prior to her appointment, Wimmer was the Deputy Director of Veterans Services and the County Veteran Service Officer at the San Joaquin County Healthcare Services Agency since 2014. Virginia served 26 years in the U.S. Air Force as a security forces, cross-trained to healthcare services manager, and finally retired as a senior master sergeant in 2012. She did tours in South Korea and Italy and deployed to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. So we're just really honored and thank you for your time today, Virginia. So with that, I will turn it over to you and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me and thank you for being here. And I appreciate you sharing this afternoon with me. Let's just get right into this. Our next slide here, we'll talk a little bit about what we do at the Women Veterans Division. And so much like the minority and underrepresented division, we do a lot of outreach. Our whole focus is on outreach. We understand that the 160,000 women and their families that we serve are not coming to CalVet headquarters to see us. So we need to get out there in the community and serve veterans and their families where they are. I'll take that next slide, thanks. And so one of the ways we do that is we try to recognize all the celebratory weeks and days and everything that you know we try to uplift and highlight women and their contributions and their struggles and triumphs to our nation. And one of the ways we do that here in the state of California is, in fact, I know that here in the state of California, we are the only state that has a whole week in the month of March during Women's History Month that we celebrate the third week of that month, the third week of March, we celebrate Women's Military History Week. So we dedicate the whole week. I try to go throughout the state, recognizing, uplifting, and highlighting women veterans throughout the state, as well as service women, highlighting their efforts and highlighting their contributions to our state and to our communities, as well as our nation. So thanks, next slide. So a little bit about the women veterans of our state. Like I said, there's about 160,000 of us post-military women. We make about 10% of the entire state. 32,000 of us are still wearing the uniform, so we're either active, guard, or reserve. That's about 20% of all service members across the state. Nationwide, women are 10% of all veterans nationwide, so we are tracking with the nationwide average. 17% of all women that make up the entire military are active duty, and then on the guard and reserve side, it's about 21%. So, and believe it or not, women veterans are the fastest growing cohort of all veterans. And so we're also the fastest growing cohort to utilize our VA benefits as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Next slide. So some of the unique challenges for our women veterans are because due to our military services, some of the physical demands that are placed upon the women's bodies, women's minds, women's spirituality, some of those demands sort of wreak havoc on us once we leave the military. And so those are some of the unique challenges women face. The effects of the military job and those job duties, again, the equipment and supplies that we use. If we think about it, the equipment and the duties in the military, a lot of things are male specific. Therefore, we go into those job duties, we use that equipment, the uniform, the boots, all of that was in the beginning, those were made for men. And so we were wearing that uniform, we were wearing those boots, we wore the PPE gear, and it wasn't really fit for us. So that wreaked havoc on our bodies. Some of the exposure to the traumatic events, of course, I mean, that's for all veterans, not just specific to women. Other unique challenges that women face, and the reason why we have this Women Veterans Division is because of the rigorous deployment cycles, the rigorous personnel, the PCS challenges, schedules, the changing from one base to another. Of course, conforming to gender norms and gender attitudes, cultural norms and cultural attitudes, right? That military transition, that military transformation. Those are some of the very, very unique challenges that are different for women veterans and service women than they are for our male veterans. So this is why the Women Veterans Division exists, because there is a lack of recognition for women veterans than there is for male veterans. And you ask yourself, well, why is that? Because a veteran is a veteran is a veteran. Well, I'll give you an example. Just recently, I was at an outreach event at a prominent American Legion, and there was a woman, post 9/11 veteran, who was recognized as the Woman Veteran of the Year for a particular area, and everybody clapped, and we were very happy for her. And one of the men in the room said, I wonder what she did to get this award. Who did she know, or who does she know to get that award? And I thought to myself, why would he say that? So we asked, what made you ask that question? And his response was, well, she had to know someone. But why could this woman not be Veteran of the Year? So it makes us think, what does a veteran look like? Why does a veteran have to be a specific type of man or male veteran? Why do women not fit that billet? So these are the unique challenges due to our military service that we face. This is why we have a specific outreach division for women veterans, because our voices count, and our contributions count, and that we need to be recognized for those as well. Next slide. Thank you. So how do we support women veterans? We support women veterans, not just here at Calvet, but throughout the state. This is what I would normally tell service providers. This is what I would normally tell friends like my friend at the American Legion. We should never assume that who we're talking to is A, not a veteran, B, not a combat veteran. You look at Virginia and you think to yourself, there's no way she's a combat veteran. Well, she is, right? You don't assume because she has a small frame that maybe she didn't, well, this is probably dating myself, so I apologize for this, that maybe she didn't carry an M60, because she did. Of course, they have, decommissioned that weapon, went out a long time ago. But the whole thing is not to assume that the person you're talking to is not a veteran, right? The key to serving women veterans is really education and understanding. Educate taking those opportunities to educate yourself and educate one another, right? One of the things that as women veterans, we always have to remind ourselves not to be offended when people assume that we want to join the auxiliary. We have to take that time to educate folks and reach out to them to let them know that, hey, what you see here before you is what a veteran looks like. So we need to also let people know about all the available resources that are available to women veterans and their families. Just as my colleagues have just explained, everything is available to a male veteran, a combat veteran, a non-combat veteran. Those are available to women veterans as well. So we want to be a resource, a source for that as well. So CalVet Women Veterans Affairs is here to know about all those available all those available resources, whether they are on the local level, state level, or at the VA level. We speak VA. So it's important for us to be out in the community. I always say we like to be a hub to all the spokes. So we work closely with our CalTAP team. We work closely with our links, and we work especially closely with our minority and underrepresented division. Why? Because we understand that women, we occupy a lot of different spaces. We understand that as women veterans, we are LGBTQ+, we are undomiciled, we are disabled veterans, we are combat veterans, we are reservists, we are service members, we have children, we are divorcees, we are business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we are everything and anything. So representation matters. Therefore, it is important to us and incumbent upon us at the Women Veterans Division, as I like to say, to know a guy or a girl who can help connect people to those resources. Next slide, please. Thanks. Again, our whole purpose for existing is to make sure we are the hub to the spoke so we can provide the proper information, advocacy, outreach, and support that women veterans and their families deserve. Next slide. So some of the specific things that we do to do that is that we help develop, organize, and deliver training that is specific to women veterans. So again, we go out to the communities and we ask women veterans, what is it that she wants? Right? Because we don't believe in pushing information, rather than tell us what you want so we can go and get that information to share. We like to assist with outreach via email, social media, in-person events to women veterans all throughout California. We don't want to just deliver information and resources from our little palace in headquarters. We like to be where the veterans are. So if veterans or the women veterans and their families say, hey, can you come to like a CalTAP event like this? Will you come and join us at a virtual event? We're there. Will you come to our resource fair? We're there. Will you come on campus? We're there. Will you come on the Air Force Base, on the Army post? We are there. No event for us is too small or too large. Unlike the CalTAP team, right now it's just me and my colleague Adriana, who would normally be giving this briefing, but she's out of office today. But she would most likely be your go-to point of contact the next time you all get together. But we like to provide that guidance for developing women veteran specific events and outreach materials. So if you ever want to collaborate, please reach out to us. We like to help create comprehensive list of community organizers and community organizations to assist women veterans specific in your area. So if there's anything that you all need in your area, we most likely have contact information for that. You can reach out to us at any time. Of course, I'm going to share that all at the end of this presentation with you. So next slide, please. Thank you. So of course, we're coming to the end almost. So you, of course, just like everybody else, you can find us on the CalVet website and the Women Veterans. And we have a plethora of resources to click through. Again, we offer webinars as well. We have a leadership council as well. We also have we do a reception, annual reception. I'm going to talk more about that. That's coming up next. We also, like I said, do resources and information that we like to share out. We also have our own veterans our women veterans roster that we encourage everyone on this call to participate in as well, specifically women veterans, spouses who identify as female, and anybody who's interested in connecting with us as a service provider, or if you just want to know what's happening in the community with women veterans, we encourage you to join our roster as well. Next slide. This is what I want to invite everybody on this call for, to join us for. This event right here, our Calvet Trailblazer Award and 75th anniversary of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act reception. On June 12th at 5 p.m., we will be hosting the 2023 Calvet Trailblazer Award. This is where we honor a few women within our community, women veterans in our community who are still doing outstanding work, either still in uniform or out of the uniform, but they are doing good things in our community in our communities for our veterans. And so they have been nominated for the Calvet Trailblazer Award. Subsequently, June 12th is the 75th anniversary of the signing of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act. It has only been 75 years since women have been able to be called airman, soldier, sailor, or Marine. Prior to 1948, women could only serve in the reserves or auxiliary or as nurses. We could not be called airman, could not be called soldier, could not be called sailor, you could not be called a Marine. But we could serve in those auxiliary units and be called WAC, waves, WAF, and a whole host of other things, but never airman, soldier, sailor, or Marine. So we're inviting all of you all to attend. This is absolutely free. So if you take out your phones, go ahead and sign up right now. The QR code is there. We can also put this in the chat if we can, so that everybody later on, if you want to go and take a look at that, again, you can go to Calvet, go onto our website. This information is on the Calvet website as well, but you're all invited. This is a community event, so we're asking that you bring your spouses or significant other, your mom, your dad, your aunties, your neighbors. Bring someone. This is a celebration. We're celebrating women veterans in 75 years of their triumph and their contributions to our nation and to the state of California. So thank you. Next slide. So that was about our annual reception. Also, as I told you, one of the things I mentioned is women's voices. Calvet recognizes that women veteran voices are very important. And one of the things women don't do very well is we lack recognition in the fact that a lot of times we don't even know that our friends, our family, our neighbors have served, because they don't tout that. She doesn't often wear the hat that says, you know, I served in the Gulf War, or I served in Vietnam, or I served in Korean War, or I served World War II. She won't wear the hat. She won't wear the t-shirt. So her legacy often gets lost, or it gets diminished, somehow discounted. So we have this program called Calvet Women Voices, where we ask women veterans and service women to record their stories, write it down, or just record it on their phone and submit it to us at Calvet, so that we can have their stories saved, so that their families will know that mom, sister, auntie, grandma, neighbor has a story and it's being preserved. So at any time a woman veteran or service member wants to record her story, she has a place to have it preserved. So it's called Calvet Women Voices, and we like to share that out. So if you like that information, you can also find that on our website as well. Next slide, please. And again, here's the information on how to submit that. There's a QR code for it, or again, you can just go to women veterans at calvet.ca.gov, or email us rather to submit it, or call me, whatever, all my information is going to be there. Next slide. Our roster, again, right now we have about 18,500 names on the roster. And I told you we have 160,000 women, or those who identify as female, and we're looking for more. We are looking for more. It is my goal to to get as many women on that roster. I would like to have 100,000 names on that roster. So I'm trying. One of the things that another way that I'm trying to get this roster filled up is by doing a women veteran survey. So that should be launching here next year. I don't have a slide for it yet, but that should be launching here in about a year. And so hopefully through that survey, I'll get more women's names on that roster, because it is my goal to make sure that we reach out to women veterans across this state so that, again, we can get their stories recorded so we can find out who they are and what services and support they need across our state. Okay, next slide, thank you. Here is my contact information. Like I told you, it's just me and Adriana. She's the sole program analyst for women veterans right now, but we are in the process of hiring more. And so we have a few openings. Again, I'm Virginia. You can reach me at virginia.women@calvet, or you can reach Adriana at adriana.griffin@calvet.ca.gov, or you can just reach out to us at womenveterans@calvet.ca.gov. You can find us on Facebook and or Instagram. We ask that you please, please, please join our roster. We look forward to sharing all of our information with you and collaborating with you. And please reach out if you ever need anything. And I appreciate your time this afternoon and for allowing me to share this information with you all.
Great. Thank you so much, Virginia. That was such great information. Really honored to have you. And we thank you for your time and your service across the board. And thank you for partnering with the CalTAP team for today. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions that may have come in. My colleague, Kirk Eller, has been monitoring the chat and the Q&A. Kirk, are there any questions that came in directly related to our overview or any one of our speakers directly?
Yeah, thanks, Derek. We have no questions right now, and I just put the survey link in the chat as well. So if you do have a question, please send it my way, and you can send that to the CalTAP questions tab. And I'm sure Derek's going to stay on for a couple more minutes. And if these questions come in, I'll forward them to the subject matter expert who can answer it for them.
Outstanding. Thank you, Kirk. Additionally, I would like to highlight some of our upcoming trainings that we have virtually. We're also hosting, as of today, actually, I think, our veteran healthcare options. And coming up next week, we're also partnering with Samuel Merritt University, discussing mental health and veteran resiliency. So I do encourage you to follow us along, join us, register for our events, so that way we can continue connecting with you going forward. Again, this is our link for our survey for today's webinar. We believe we dropped it in the chat. We also do encourage you to take a moment to fill this out. We really do appreciate your feedback for these trainings to make sure that we're just giving you all of the most up-to-date and relevant information, and really assessing what your needs may be for yourself or for your friend or your family member. So if you have a moment, please conduct this survey. We just wanted to give one last thank you to everybody joining us today, our guest speakers, and a special thank you to the team at College of the Canyons for allowing us, for giving us a platform to host this training. We always enjoy your partnership, and we look forward to working with you again in the future. So with that, just want to say thank you again. Thank you for your military service. Thank you for being a military family as well, or for being a service provider to those who serve veterans. So just thanks again to everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. And we hope to see you again in the future. Thanks again, and have a great day.